Hello, everyone. Michael Jordan fans are the best. And today we're going to have a great subject here talking about, does LeBron James deserve the hate he receives? But first, before we get into that, let's welcome the panel. We got Hoop God. How are you today?
Oh man, I'm great. Enjoying these playoffs. NBA, no bums allowed. Getting to see good basketball. All is well. All is well.
We've got Robin, Sports and Fitness Rants. How are you today?
Yo, what's up, everybody? You guys know the deal, man. It's great to be back on a glorious Sunday, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Let's roll.
And we got AOH. How are you today?
Good morning. Good morning. I'm feeling good. Enjoying the playoffs.
Nice. So, Hoop God, let's just roll into it hot. Do you think LeBron James deserves the hate that he receives from everybody?
Absolutely. When you purport yourself as the quote unquote pseudo king and you put a pseudo crown on your head, then it's par for the course. When you lose, you will have to receive all the backlash. It's warranted. You brought it upon yourself. So, yes, if you purport yourself as a particular person that stands heads and shoulders above his peers, well, no, you can't be brought down to that level in a losing effort and say, well, everybody else. No, it don't work that way because turnabout is fair play. So, yes, I absolutely believe he deserves all the backlash, all the criticism that he gets brought to him, because you cannot manipulate people and then you want to hide your hand when it backfires on you. So, no, I don't have no sympathy for him whatsoever. Anytime he gets hate and slander, I applaud it because you bring it upon yourself. And then you don't want to accept the responsibility for the situations that you create. Think about this for a second, gentlemen. He reminds me of a mariner that pokes holes into his own boat, but then he wants the credit for saying, well, look what I did. Yeah, I poked holes in my boat, but I was still able to get it to shore. No, it don't work that way. So to sum it all up, yes, I absolutely believe he gets every bit of criticism and hate. It's well deserved.
All right, Robin, what do you think about all this?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I think the first thing that we have to understand is that whenever we've been doing these things on our channels, the conversations, the debates, as it pertains to a LeBron James, and he's comparing them to a Michael Jordan, that's the problem for a lot of us out there. Like I said, I first came about my channel because I was hearing all these rumors. All of a sudden, one day I woke up and LeBron James was somehow right behind Michael Jordan. Somehow they're comparing LeBron James to Michael Jordan. But the facts, this is what we have to understand. These are the facts here. The facts show, right? The video footage shows us that indeed that LeBron James is not nowhere close to a Michael Jordan. So when they talk about the hate that LeBron James is deserving of, what we must remember is that none of this stuff is quote unquote false hate. This is not us making things up, right? What we're going against is the narratives, is the lies. So these are the things that I think that LeBron James fans don't want to come to the reality with. They don't want to come to terms with is that when they call us haters, you guys are haters of LeBron James. You guys are just hating on LeBron James. Like I've said many times on my channel, I just wake up in the morning sometimes and I put the TV on and there's LeBron James embarrassing himself again, giving us more ammunition to talk about him because of the things that he does, because he does not continue to carry himself with the integrity, the class, the honor. When you have your wife come on stage and call you the GOAT during an award ceremony, did I make him do this? Did I just make this up? This was just, sports and fitness ranch, just making up a story just to get some views and some likes on YouTube. No, this is just fool doing these things. So absolutely, LeBron James deserves everything that comes his way. We just talked about that story recently about that woman that was doing the crybaby motion on the sideline in LeBron James's face, right? And we talked about him making that flinch towards her and things of that nature, man. And once again, this is LeBron James exposing himself because why was that woman or why did she feel the need to do this? Because that's the reality of LeBron James. This is what they know him for. Think about that. People know LeBron James as the crybaby. This is what she was doing to him. I've never seen anyone do that to a Michael Jordan, man. What they used to try to do to Michael Jordan was what? Try to psych Michael Jordan out, try to trash talk Michael Jordan and get him to go back at them and get him off his game. This man, LeBron James, actually known for being a crybaby. Was that undeserved hate? No, that woman was right on the money. She was right. I would love to give that woman a high five. Now, would I do something like that, man? Maybe not, you know what I'm saying? But once again, this is all LeBron James, man. Like my man Hoop God said, it's all deserved.
All right. What do you got to say about all that, AOH? And what's your take?
When he declared himself the GOAT, that was just shockingly distasteful. And the thing about that is it's only one of many, many, many things that he's done. But that one thing alone, if we go back a couple of decades when people actually handled themselves with some class, it would have taken him the rest of his career to get over that. People would be trashing him constantly because of that and holding him up to that. Hey, you called yourself the GOAT. You brought this on yourself. We don't have that anymore. I mean, he did one of the most disgusting, lack of humility, lack of class things possible, and it got brushed under the rug. So we end up talking about society on here and how it mirrors LeBron James. But if he was actually getting called out by the media, the number of things to rip him down about would perhaps maybe register with some of his fans. But because they sweep it under the rug or they find a reason for justifying it, then his fans say, oh, see, it's justified, instead of simply taking it on yourself to act like a decent human being. I have such a long list. You know, I started a video about whether or not he deserves it, and it's called Scrutinized, because everybody says, oh, no one's been more scrutinized than LeBron James. Rich Paul will say this. No one's been more scrutinized than LeBron James. No one else constantly opens their mouth to say stupid shit. I mean, he just can't stop. He just can't stop. It's incredible. I can't keep up with the amount of dumb shit that he says. To the point, I'm going to have to ask you guys to help me with the list to make sure I don't miss anything. This is going to be a documentary length video that I do because of the amount of crap that this guy has said. And like his wife, what does it mean when she adds the word respectfully at the end of saying something disrespectful and stupid and tasteless? Like that just made everything okay. That's the mentality of the new generation that likes this dude. Oh, well, as long as you said, with all due respect, you're a piece of shit. Now you weren't disrespectful. It's just...
With all due respect,
with all due respect, with all due respect, you guys are clowns. I love you to death. Love you to death. You guys are fucking clowns.
I just want to say something real quick, man. I to add on to what he was just saying about the wife thing. I saw somebody in the comments that said something about what I said earlier about, oh, his wife believed in him, and you know they were trying to clown me because they said his wife believed in him. No, Rocky Balboa's wife believed in him. Adrian believed in Rocky. Okay. LeBron James' wife coming on stage and calling him the GOAT respectfully ain't belief in your husband. If she really believed him, if she really respected him, then she would have slapped him in the hand and said, look, man, you're not Michael Jordan. Everyone knows you're not Michael Jordan. I believe you're great. You know you're great. Stop pumping yourself up like a moron, because I never heard Michael Jordan's wife ever come out and say he was the GOAT respectfully. So that person in the comments, you're a straight fool, man.
Well, this is what I'm talking about, how they're influenced by the media, because even when the media pretends to criticize LeBron James, they follow it up by but I understand why. I get it. I understand why. So these fools think that as long as you have some sort of an emotional response, some sort of a speech to justify why you just acted like an asshole, that it makes it okay. It's like, oh, his wife was supporting him. There are ways to support people in a classy manner. There's not one way to support somebody. You don't declare somebody the GOAT in front of an auditorium full of athletes. You let them decide whether or not he's the GOAT or not. And someone recently put out a video saying, well, LeBron admitted that he didn't play well in Miami. So why are we even talking about this? Why all the hate on LeBron? I don't know. Maybe because he's on a podcast throwing his team under the bus, saying that it was their fault. He may have, out of the side of his mouth, admitted something that's undeniable, by the way. Where's the honor in admitting something that's undeniable? I mean, you shit the bed. And after a decade of everyone saying, yeah, you shit the bed, you finally say, Yeah, I admit it. I didn't play great, but it was everyone else's fault. That's why.
With all
That's
due
why we're
respect.
talking about it. Because he won't shut up. He won't stop saying stupid shit. He won't stop putting the blame on other people. So stop acting like he's innocent. The only reason it came back up is because of him. And then you're like, oh, you're hating on him. Tell him to shut the fuck up if you don't want us to hate on him.
Real fast, I know Hoop God wanted to add something, but we got a super chat that came in from Dan the Cornman to AOH. Is it annoying when you destroy the argument of LeBron being a lazy player and then they can't think or argue against it, so they insult your game? What do you have to say about that?
I mean, it's expected. I mean, maybe the fact that it's just expected and predictable is as annoying as the comment itself. Like, these are people that you can't reason with. You can't educate them. They obviously don't have the capability of critical thinking. If you can't stay on topic in a debate and you're just trying to go somewhere else, that means you lost the debate. Like, if any of these people were to actually do a live debate on the LeBron James topic, they would lose miserably. It scares me. It scares me that there are this many dumb people out there.
Real fast, I wanted to mention for the people in the room, I'm thinking about starting a debate tournament. Obviously, the panel is welcome as well. But I was thinking about having a tournament and giving the grand prize of an MJFB Debate Championship T-shirt. If y'all are interested, you can email me at michaeljordanfans@thebest@gmail.com if you wanted to do something along the lines of that. Hoop God, you said you wanted to add to what was being said real fast before I give my take.
Oh yeah, real quick. I'll be brief. Because Wilbon had said this shortly after the Darvin Ham firing, which was undeservedly, by the way. But Wilbon, I mean, he stated it explicitly. You get on the panel and you're blaming the refs, you're blaming the coaching, you're blaming everybody but the man in the mirror. You know, to quote Michael Jackson. That's another thing, right? Because when you look at Kobe Bryant when he lost in 2008 to the Boston Celtics, took accountability. When they lost in 2003 to the Spurs, he took accountability. 2004 against the Pistons, he took accountability. Michael Jordan, same way. When they lost to the Pistons, all those years, Michael Jordan took accountability. Even when he came back and they lost to the Orlando Magic, took accountability. See, that's what separates guys like Jordan and Kobe. And the reason why I say that, I put them on a tier levels above LeBron James, because as the leader, again, you know that you're going to get the praise, and Tom Brady, don't let me forget him, when you win. But when you lose, you could go out and play a phenomenal game. You still have to take the blame, because that's what leadership is all about. You give your team the credit in a win. You take the sole responsibility and the blame. Heavy is the head that wears the crown, okay? In 2000, my apologies, in 2022, y'all remember when everybody was talking about the Lakers acquiring all these players and they're old, they're dinosaurs. What did this dude do? He got on Twitter, with them bitter fingers. Y'all talk about my team, blah, 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 blah. He gets in his feelings when he gets criticism. Keep that same energy, right? Okay. Well, they subsequently missed the playoffs. Why did he delete that tweet? See, this is what we're talking about, chat. Accountability. He does not have that. He does not dwell in accountability. And this starts from your childhood. When you're brought up as an adolescent, your father says, go out there, take out the trash, feed the dogs, whatever. If you don't do that, he's going to hold you accountable. Whether he's going to take the video game from you or he's going to discipline you. That's the era I came from. That's the era LeBron James did not get, seeing how he was coming up, because they gave him everything. The AAU circuit, or here LeBron, yeah, LeBron, just give him everything. And see, when you become an adult, now you've been living a certain way that you can't think any other way. Prime example, he goes to Miami. What does he tell Pat Riley? I want Pat Riley to coach. I want Jamal Crawford. I want Steve Nash. No, Pat Riley said, no, you're going to do it our way. You don't run stuff out. I'm the alpha down here. LeBron James had his most success down there, but what did he do? He couldn't take that accountability. So he ran back to Cleveland. He's only won one championship with two other franchises. He had his most success by a team that didn't even draft him. Why? Because they held him accountable. And AOH, I wanted to mention what you said about these goofballs. I actually like it when they get personal, because that shows you right there that they're on their last legs. Because when we're talking basketball, right, everything we're talking about is strictly on the game. But when they come back, oh, well, you don't know anything, or whatever, they get their little petulant third grade assault words. They're in their feelings because it's like, okay, are we talking basketball or are we trying to use third grade banter? Because I'm lost. I like to antagonize them. But yeah, when they get personal on these platforms, yeah, you got them in the bind then because they don't even watch the game. They'll go look at a stat sheet and say, oh, well, he put up 28, 8, and 8. Yeah, but the team lost. So what are you bragging about? I mean, I don't understand. Did you watch the game? If you ask them about a sequence, they can't even tell you about a sequence, but they can give you all the box score numbers and the stat lines and all this other nonsense, and they got nothing to do with the end result, which is what? Let me quote Herm Edwards. You play to win the game. But thank you for that, Dart. I just had to add that in there.
And Hoop God, I want to jump on something you said. I can remember, because I'm old, I can remember watching some of these athletes that had class in a press conference, and as a kid, I'd see someone come on the stage and take accountability, take responsibility for something that I didn't think was their fault. Yeah. And as an immature kid, I'm thinking, no, that's bullshit. That was clearly so-and-so's fault. But you're seeing a man act like a man. You're seeing someone behave the way they're supposed to, and you think, okay, maybe that's what you're supposed to do in that position.
Yeah.
As a kid, I thought, no, but you're seeing someone act the way they're supposed to act. And maybe that influences you rather than what we see now. Just guys saying hollow crap constantly. Yeah. Hollow crap. They don't back up any of it, and there's no consequences for it. I mean, deleting tweets, how douchey is that? Either mean what you said or don't.
Yeah, and I think what you guys are saying, with all due respect, is total trash. No, I'm just kidding. I like the all due respect. Anyway, what I'm getting at is that I think when you guys talk about the accountability, if I had to put it in a phrase, I think that is the one thing that you would have to say is what's most hated about LeBron James is that he's unable to go and say that, yeah, I could have done better. This was my fault. He's always pointing the finger, and especially with this podcast where it's just a platform for him to, and JJ Redick to kiss his butt, it makes it even worse versus, saying it's just basketball or these other recent things. It's laughable how you compare him to other guys like Michael Jordan or others that go up on stage, and even outside of basketball, what's being said with the accountability. I have to say that in a phrase, I think that is what you could say is the most hated thing about LeBron James. Hoop God, what would you say if you had to say one thing is what people hate the most about LeBron James? Is it accountability, or is it his accountability, or is it something else, would you say?
Oh, without a doubt, it's the accountability, and I like to phrase it as objective criticism, because the word, to me, just me, the word hate is such a strong word, and when I hear it, it's like I know a lot of these Gen Zs and baby boomers, they don't even understand the context of the word, because if you look at the etymology, it has nothing to do with how we're critical of LeBron. But see, you hear something in the media so much that it becomes, okay, well, it can't be any other just a reasonable, I would say justifiable message that pertains to him. But no, I'm looking at it like, okay, you guys are subjectively in your feelings for him. But if somebody brings an objective perspective, you call it hate. But I got a better one for you, right? When you're playing one-on-one, do you call your opponent a hater, or do you call him playing defense, coming against what you're trying to do? You're basically the opposition. So if I had to give I would say the main thing, yeah, it's the accountability, because rather than you being a man and accepting whatever it is that you caused, no, you have to either jump ship and go somewhere else, or you have to find someone else to blame. And that right there in and of itself is why I would never put him on the same category with the MJ, Kobe. I mean, Magic, Bird, the list goes on, because those guys were the epitome of accountability. And he just does not have that. I mean, all the other shenanigans that come with it, I mean, yeah, you could add that. But to me, the number one reason, yeah, because he has no accountability. I mean, it's like he has no respect for his peers. But that's the main thing right there. Like when you don't represent that that basis of being a man and accepting responsibility for whatever the circumstances are and the results, then no, I cannot put you up there. And like AOH said, these kids coming up now, they don't even know what the word mean. Accountability sounds like you're speaking French or Spanish to them. Oh, what does that mean? Like, really? I'm just like, man.
Robin, what do you have to say about all this? What's the one thing that you would point at that most people would quote unquote hate on LeBron about?
I mean, like I said, just the very situation that we're having right now when we use the word hate, because once again, these are the facts here. These are the facts, and this is what has happened now. The word hate has been manipulated, man. It's been hijacked. You know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden now, all we do is hate. Look at some of these fools who make the comments, the LeBron James fans. What do they talk about? They say the same things over and over again. What are you guys going to do when LeBron James retires? You guys are going to have nothing to talk about. Then how is Nick Wright making millions of dollars lying about Michael Jordan, who hasn't played basketball in years? It literally, it makes you sound stupid when you say these things. Just because LeBron James retires this year, next year, the year after, whenever he retires, is irrelevant, because we're not fighting against LeBron James. We're fighting against the lies and the narratives that surround LeBron James' career that you fools are not opening the reality and opening your eyes to. That's all this is. So once again, when we use the word hate, they're using it when we're spitting the facts here. On my channel, I always say the same damn thing, man. It's all about setting the record straight. I wouldn't have to set the record straight if people kept their integrity, if they kept the honesty out there. They're not doing these things. So we must fight against the mainstream media, the Nick Wrights, the Shannon Sharps, the Colin Cowherds, the Kendrick Perkins, the JJ Reddicks, the Gilbert Arenases, a bunch of these idiots out here. And now, not only are we fighting against that, we're also fighting against what now? The podcast generation of NBA players. So now we have the Draymond Greens out there talking nonsense. We have LeBron James now and JJ Redick talking their nonsense. And now we have to come out here and set the record straight and must stop them from rewriting the history of the NBA. This is literally what they're doing out here. So that's my problem with LeBron James, is because of him not taking the accountability that you guys are talking about, is allowing everyone to try to rewrite history. And why must they do this? Because when you look at the video footage, it never matches what they want to sell you. And this is why I told you they've sold their integrity. So when they tell you a story about LeBron James being one of the best shooters in the NBA at 39 years old, and then you turn on the TV, the reality shows you that he's not one of the best shooters in the league. He's out there hitting the side of the backboard. He's airballing free throws. He's missing these shots in critical moments. So he's exposing what they're telling you is not matching the video footage. But when you turn the flip side and they tell you about Michael Jordan and the plumbers that Michael Jordan played against, when you look at the video footage and you start looking at these things, just take the All-Star game, for example. Look at the All-Star game. The reality is that the All-Star game this year was a joke. The reality was, when the All-Star game that I grew up watching was a true competitive All-Star game. These guys had more integrity. So my problem is with LeBron James, the way he carries himself, like you guys said, and the word hate being thrown around, and it's not accurate. These are the facts.
AOH, what's your take? If you had to say one thing why people criticize LeBron or hate on LeBron the most, what would it be? And amongst everything else said.
Jeez, one thing?
One big thing.
Well, what bothers me the most, or what I think that is the most popular source of hate?
Either or. I mean, you can go either direction with it.
I mean, I think what comes up the most often is the super team hopping, but his behavior on camera is what bothers me the most. He could be a fantastic basketball player. I know some people think he is great, but it's hard to tell because they changed the rules in order to accommodate him. Anyone that needs to be accommodated in order to compete, that takes you out of my list, takes you out of anywhere visibly on any list for me. But even if he was a great basketball player, the way that he behaves is sickening. Sickening. I think that's why we get passionate about this. It's gone beyond basketball. It's about bad role models. And it's not just him as a bad role model. It's the media showing everyone else in the world that, hey, just come up with an explanation for it and it makes everything okay. No matter how bad it was, just come up with an explanation for it.
Yeah, yeah. For me, no, I totally get what all y'all are saying, and that's something I want to bring up too, because it was brought up a few times earlier on, with his wife saying, defending the take that he is the GOAT. Um, but the one thing that killed me for an event versus just an idea or a principle behind why people uh, hate, quote unquote, LeBron James, the thing that really did it for me was the decision, or La decision, or however you want to put it. I thought that the decision was absolutely the most atrocious thing that I'd ever seen in respect to sports. I thought it was extremely disrespectful to the city of Cleveland. I'm not from Cleveland, and I hated him for it, because I know that if I was somebody from Cleveland and I saw that happen, just take a whole dump on generally the city that he had grown up in. Um, I would absolutely hate him. The burning of the jerseys, just all of that. I would feel on board with doing that if I were them. And for his fans to give the excuses of, oh well, he donated all the proceeds to the boys and girls club. Okay, so like if I go and I'm using in a little hyperbole. If I smacked your mother in the mouth, what I got some money for, and donated it to children, are you going to be okay with it? Like,
No, no. If you go smack the mother in the mouth and then donate it to the anti-domestic violence fund, that's what that would be.
yeah, well, yeah, in respect to being a role model for kids. Absolutely. So real fast, we got a super chat that came in, but I want to follow up with asking Hoop God, what's the one event that you think that if you could categorize it, why LeBron is hated as an event. But Wraith Mesa super chatted somebody for $2 and says, "Oh my God, please, I'm praying the Lakers hire JJ Redick." I'll answer that real fast. In general, I think everyone agrees that would be hilarious. Justin Messenger sent it to AOH 499. Leadership 101, accept your responsibility and take blame even if the loss was not your fault. LeBron and his fans don't get that. Great job, guys. What do you have to say about that, AOH?
Thank you very much for the super chat. And yeah, I mean, I would basically have to repeat what I said earlier about, even if it's not your fault, if you're the leader, you take it on your shoulders. You don't be one of these guys that talks about taking things on your shoulders and then immediately shrugging it all off when the going gets tough, which is exactly what LeBron. I mean, he literally talked about his shoulders and putting stuff on his shoulders, and I mean, his shoulders collapsed like he dropped a building on him.
He is the Atlas of the NBA, or the Sun, or any sort of central figure for everything.
Exactly. This dude called himself the fucking Sun, and his fans say that he's a humble person.
And the GOAT.
Yeah, and the GOAT.
Hoop God, what's one event that you think he is most hated for? I know I obviously just brought up the decision, him saying that he's the GOAT. What's one event for you that you believe is the most hated thing that LeBron James has done?
Oh yeah, it was without a doubt. Pardon me, the decision, because again, we had never seen anything like that in sports, period. And then you think about how the legends all spoke on that. Like, listen to them now. Magic Johnson is about the most happy-go-lucky, jovial person you will meet. Listen to him say, I never wanted to play with Larry Bird. I never wanted to play with Michael and all them guys. I wanted to beat them, right? Because that was the competitive nature, and that was the culture back then. And you bring this guy in, then you find out that they were colluding during the 08 Olympics. So now I'm looking at, now I have to rewind and I have to reassess this. Like, okay, so even though you were playing with, I consider the last alpha of that generation of alpha dogs, Kobe Bryant, you're colluding with Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, and Carmelo, and yeah, let's not re-sign so we can all join up. I'm like, wait a minute. So you weren't even giving 100% to your own franchise, because if you're over here busy colluding with guys, that tells me you're not all the way in on your team. So when you went up against the Orlando Magic. Well, you only gave them 80% because the other 20% you were still talking to D Wade and Melo and Bosh. Then when you come back in 2010, you go up 2-1 on the Boston Celtics. And then you subsequently wet the bed. So now I'm looking at it like, okay, so this guy wasn't even really all the way in after the Olympic run in which Kobe Bryant showed you how to go out and be a leader. Get it done on the defensive side, right? But no, you come have this, what? Well, I forgot how long it was, but you got a prime time position to tell another organization that, yeah, I'm leaving you. I don't care about y'all. Y'all are trash, and I'm gonna go over here and join the Miami Heat. I was like, wow. Now it started there, right? Okay.
Yeah,
So then you get to the finals, and then you start to mock Dirk Nowitzki because he had a cold. And all of a sudden you choked in 4 straight finals? Oh, man, it's starting to get bad now. Now, I ain't going to mention what the Spurs did, but okay, you take your talents back to Cleveland. Okay, cool. You go to a game 7 against an undermanned Warriors. You miss 5 consecutive shots within the last 5 minutes of the game. And then at the timeout, you can visibly see him telling Tyloo, give the ball to Kyrie, give the ball to Kyrie. Never in my life have I seen MJ, Kobe, any other leader telling the coach to give the ball to the other guy because you can't get a shot because why? You're bagless. You haven't developed your skills. You still have the same game you had when you were in high school. Hakeem Olajuwon even taught you a post game, and Ben McAdoo taught you how to become a better jump shooter. But yeah, when it gets in the clutch, y'all know what happened when you leave your clothes out in the sun too long. It starts to shrink. But no. That whole decision, to me, that's worse. That was the pinnacle. I mean, that was just like, bruh. And then, like AOH said, you tell them, oh, these shoulders were made for lifting. Bro, you missed the playoffs. So it's like when he tries to beat Muhammad Ali, he fails. Every single time when he tries to be the rah-rah like LeBron, just stop, bro. That whole smack talking, that's not you. You're the nice guy. Your opponents see you as a nice guy. Mario Chalmers told you, shut the F up and quit acting like a B and go out there and play. I mean, bro, you're nice. Like, you're nice, but then you're a jerk. So nobody likes you. I mean, it's just like, bro, you have to pay people to say nice things about you. But then you want to be considered on par with Kobe and Jordan. Or no. He wants to be above Kobe and Jordan. No, you're going to be tiers below those guys because they were just cut from an entirely different cloth of respect, of honor, moral, and principles in which he has none of those qualities. But yeah, that whole decision, that started it for me. So that's to sum it up.
And Hoop God, the collusion is bad enough. And then you come out and it comes out later that he lied, that he wasn't colluding. But we talk about this list of things he's done that is so long that we can't even keep up with it. The way he treated Cleveland needs to be talked about because supposedly the Akron kid and all that, you don't go and just have a personal meeting with management and let them know what you're going to do so they can prepare. You supposedly love this city. You supposedly love the franchise, but it's more important to you to have a live televised event about your decision rather than just maturely going and saying, hey guys, this is not working out for me. I have the option to leave and I'm going to leave. So please make your preparations in the off season. That's the correct thing to do. Now I know the brain work of LeBron fans are coming up with excuses right now. No matter what excuse you come up with, the proper thing to do was what I just described. I don't care who you go and find who has behaved badly ever in history. It doesn't change the fact of what was the proper way to behave, and that wasn't the way that he behaved. In fact, he crapped all over a city that was ready to make him a god.
Yeah, and it's like tact and decorum, which he has none. Because, like you said, you go to the organization in a private manner. I mean, you don't have to let it get out. You can either tell your PR team, hey, keep this off the books. Just go up there, let them know, hey, look, I appreciate everything you guys did. Hey, it's not working out on my side, but let me at least give you guys a heads up. But no, just abruptly just leave like that, like, nah, man, nah. And then I wanted to add too, Dart, because I just thought about it. Not going to Kobe Bryant's Memorial
Oh,
service.
that's
Not
weird.
going to his statue unveiling. Dwayne Wade, the guy who made you a champion, you don't go to his Hall of Fame induction? Nah,
I don't even get any of that at all.
nah. I cannot even attempt to try to understand someone like that who only thinks of himself. Like, nah.
I'm sure he was busy being a good father.
Real fast, let's get through some of these super chats for AOH, I believe. Stefan Vasilev, I guess that's Bulgarian. I don't know. 10 Bulgarian. The sad thing is that even if he retires, we're not going to hear the end of it ever. I'm sad to be honest. For AOH, that was for you. I don't. Do you have any comment for it?
Thank you, Stefan. Man, I kind of share your fear. It's going to be a long time. It might be never. It's going to be a long time.
And then I got one from Pierre Lynch. Thank you, sir, for $5. Sorry about the last time I got a new phone, so I couldn't get my mic to work. Hey, Robin God and AOH. No, it's all good, Pierre. I had figured something had happened, but it's all good. But yeah, Robin, what do you got to say about all of this? What's one event that you would categorize as the most quote unquote criticized or hated on moment of LeBron, and what was said otherwise by everybody?
Yeah, no, I mean, you guys were talking about the decision, man, and obviously that's, a big controversial moment for LeBron James' career, man, but I'm going to take it a step further, and I'm going to go with the moment after the 2011 NBA Finals when LeBron James told everybody to go back to their boring lives. This was pretty much LeBron James confirming what a lot of people already thought about LeBron James, or the suspicions revolving around LeBron James and his narcissism, and that really the only concern was him. There was really no concern for really winning, going through the grind, really trying to make that kind of effort. It really didn't seem like LeBron James had a love of the game. It always seemed as if he appreciated and loved what he got from the game. So after that 2011 finals, because let's be real here, during those finals, like you guys mentioned, after the decision, all of a sudden now LeBron James was the bad guy. He was legit the bad guy openly. People were criticizing LeBron James. People were rooting against LeBron James. You guys mentioned people burning his jerseys, things of that nature. And LeBron James couldn't handle that. See, so he was man enough to make that decision, but he wasn't man enough to handle the decisions, the repercussions. Once again, like you guys talked about, not being able to take the accountability for making that decision. So what did he do? He showed his true colors and told everyone to go back to their boring lives. How dare you root against me? I'm LeBron James. How dare you act as if I'm not supposed to win everything and people wanted to see him lose? How dare we? So once again, to me, that was really confirmed it for everything that people were suspicious around LeBron James. And once again, think about LeBron James' career. It's been one big lie. Everything's a lie. He cheats the game. He cheats the fans. LeBron James will sell everybody on this idea that he spends millions of dollars on his body every offseason. LeBron James is running in the sand like Rocky Balboa, another Rocky reference. LeBron James is doing all these things offseason. He's doing all this stuff to keep his body in shape. He's using the tonal machine, damn it. But what happens every season? He's playing 50 games, 55 games, 60 games. He's never playing the 80, 82 games that a super athlete that's putting all this money into his body, all this time into training, the results should be there. This is what I tell you guys. The videotape does not back up what he tells us. If you're putting all that work in the offseason, where's the results at? The results are not there. You've only played 82 games one time. So LeBron James is cheating the fans and he's cheating himself because he's lying about all this stuff. And now we see why we know the suspicions around LeBron James. How about the fact that LeBron James is supposed to be a role model? They'll always pump LeBron James up as this really good guy. He's a great father and a husband. He's all these things. But then you'll see LeBron James walking off the court with 3 minutes to go in the game. And this is not once or twice. This is a repeated thing from LeBron James. So are you supposed to teach your kids sportsmanship by watching LeBron James? Is this how you're supposed to act? How about we watch the body language of LeBron James? Once again, we have minutes-long footage of LeBron James pouting off to the side of the bench. Darvin Ham's trying to galvanize the troops. He's trying to round them up, trying to draw up a play. There's LeBron James off to the side, soaking off in a corner, not listening to a damn thing. So the Darvin Ham's supposed to have credibility with the other players when LeBron James acts like that. The other players around you are supposed to be galvanized. The players, the team, the The players, the people watching in the stands are supposed to respect you. Once again, let's go back to that woman making that mockery of him. This is what happens because LeBron James has never once taken accountability, and this is what we're dealing with right now. This is the cold, hard reality for LeBron James, man, and all of his fans.
Real fast, AOH got a super chat for 10 Canadian dollars. His entitled whining and crying to the refs and press make him unbearable. His fanboys who cheer and condone this must also act like this in their real life. What do you got to say about this, AOH?
Well, it's undeniable. I guess one way to answer this is what I just said earlier. All that his fanboys want to do is find out if someone else complained or lie. They repeat the lie that Jordan complained all the time. I'm waiting for anyone to come through with a video compilation of of Jordan complaining as much in his career as LeBron has in 1 week of basketball in his career. And, Jordan played in a time where people were allowed to hit you and they didn't call the foul until it was a pretty darn good foul. You get frustrated after a while. LeBron James is complaining if someone rubs up against his hip as he's charging over the top of them. But we can analyze whether or not they're fouls or not all day. He complains constantly. I mean, it's never ending. Even if you're a fan of his, you've got to get tired of it. You don't get tired of seeing your king up there acting that way. And all you can do is make an excuse for him. It's this generation of excuse makers. It's like, well, this is disgusting to look at, but hey, someone else complained too, therefore it's fine. Multiple wrongs don't make a right. Thank you for the super chat.
Absolutely. What else, or what's your take on the one event and what everyone else has had to say? Also, you got another super chat real fast, but if you want to just follow up with that after the super chat from Stefan again, it says, I hate most of all the way he finessed himself above so many greats like Magic, Bird, Kobe, Wilt, Duncan by comparing himself only directly to Michael. What do you have to say about that? And then if you want to follow on to the one event and or what was being talked about otherwise.
Thank you again, Stefan. Tell us, I guess it is Bulgaria, but tell us if it's not. It's just so weird how the people in charge can write a script and people are really willing to follow it and follow it quickly. I said on here before that back when Kobe was playing, they actually had a lot of people saying that Kobe was number one while Kobe was playing, because it was in the interest of the league for people to think that they were watching the GOAT. They were saying that Kobe was the GOAT.
I vividly remember that.
Yeah. And I'm not dissing Kobe and I'm not dissing Mike. It doesn't matter which one of them you think is the GOAT. The point is that at the time, when you need to feed people a story, they were feeding a different story. Suddenly, Kobe's not even number two. How did LeBron pass Kobe when Kobe at one point in time was above Michael? I mean, they just changed the story. It's just a reality show, and that's upsetting. I think, for me personally, I go to sports not to have to watch a reality show. Maybe I was naive. Maybe it's always been a reality show, but the extent of the reality show now is just ridiculous.
Absolutely. So what's one event, if you had to pinpoint that you think that LeBron is most hated for, or if you wanted to add on to the discussion that everyone else has brought up before?
Yeah, I think I kind of already answered that one. I'll give you something random because I'm a scientist. I work with wildlife, and this dude dragging animals around with him to a party just so that there can be a story. It's more passive aggressive announcing of himself as the GOAT. And you're using these animals that are, I mean, they clearly are disturbed and traumatized by being there. And he's just choking them, and they've wrapped around the throat, being pulled into this party. What the fuck are you bringing goats to a party for, you asshole? You fucking prick.
Oh man.
I appreciate your experience with wildlife to bring that into this. But yeah.
No, you're right, man. That's the delusion of LeBron James, man. This is what we're talking about. He lacks self-awareness. And his PR people, no one reels this man in. You guys said earlier, why does this man never shut up? He's always saying stupid things. Whenever they have the microphone in front of his face in a post-game press conference, he goes off rambling about nonsense. He goes out, like, who told him, hey, why don't you go get a Malcolm X book, act like you've been reading it for a couple of weeks, and then just sit there, you'll look really, who told him to do that? These are the kind of things we're talking about. Like, and then when you ask his fans about this, they have no answer for these things. What do they say? Oh, you guys are just a hater, man. You guys wouldn't have thought about doing that. You guys don't know who Malcolm X is. This man literally lied about reading a book, and then when he got called on it, he continued to lie. This is why I called him that one time George Costanza. That's a George Costanza moment. Not only did you get caught in the lie, you continued on with the lie and continued to ramble on and on and on. This is the delusion of LeBron James. This is why he'll never be respected. When he says, I want my damn respect, the thing that his fans don't understand, he's not talking to them. He's talking to us. The people who think that we're the haters, that's who LeBron James is talking to, because we're the ones who don't respect him, man. When LeBron James, think about something as simple as a slam dunk contest, y'all. He still to this day has never done the slam dunk contest, not even for his fans, his stupid delusional fans that swear he loves them, he's their king. He couldn't even do a slam dunk contest for y'all. But there he'll go at his son's high school halftime. He'll do some slam dunks there. You see what I'm saying? This don't make no sense.
Real fast, a couple more super chats came in from user 1990 for me. $5 US. His dad be on that selective androgen receptor decadurabolin. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, but thank you for the $5 US, user 1990. I appreciate it. Compare health, life, and dental insurance solutions. I believe this was for me, but you actually super chatted AOH. $10 US. But since it's addressed to me, I'll just address it. MJFB, great job on the top 25 greatest players last night. That right there made you the greatest. Michael Jordan fans are the best of all time. You know what?
That damn Steph Curry in that top 10, you did not.
Yeah. That right there made me the greatest Michael Jordan fan of all time. No, thank you. Thank you for the thought of the $10 US. But yeah, thank you and for your what do you call it? Compliment on the show last night.
Yeah, shout out to them. Compare health, life, and dental, man. Those are my peoples out there, man. Shout out to them. Yes,
member of the MJFB channel as well. He is a Michael Jordan fan on that level. So I got a follow-on question for you guys, and this is something that I really am torn about, because I think in ways that it can happen, and I think it deserves to be talked about. Is there anything, absolutely anything, that LeBron James can do to redeem his legacy with all the things that he's done over the last 21 years that we've been talking about? Or is he just doomed to have this negative light on the entirety of his career, for the rest of the time, or just for the recent future at least? Hoop God, is there anything that LeBron James can do to reconcile and revive his image outside of the negativity that we brought to it? Is there anything that can redeem him for what he has done?
Dart, we are at the point of no return. We have seen over 20 seasons of mediocrity. I'm sorry. There's nothing he can do to reverse engineer or revise his reputation, because again, it's been sullied. And just like Sports and Fitness Rant said, when you have to get on a podium and cry for your respect, to beg and plead, internally that you took a shortcut. That you did not get it out the mud. And I use this analogy. All the other guys that came before you, they took the stairs to championships and success. You took the elevator. You know you didn't do it the right way. You go to the Lakers and you say you're going to activate playoff mode, and Mario Hezonja deactivates your playoff mode, which shows that you need Anthony Davis more than Anthony Davis needs you. Now, watch this real quick, not to digress. His fans will try this tactic called obfuscating. Well, what was Anthony Davis doing? Anthony Davis is not in the GOAT debate, minion. So you have to talk to them like they're children, you know. But no, I mean, once you start to collude and running from this organization, you're getting coaches fired. And another thing with the LeBron fans, they're such hypocrites, because when we criticize LeBron, first thing they say, oh, why are you always attacking LeBron? He's a great father. Well, what about these coaches that LeBron's getting fired? I mean, they're fathers. They got families they got to take care of. I mean, not to digress, but David Black, I want to know. I seriously want to know this. And I've asked a LeBron fan to do it. I think I've asked this question for going on 3 years now. What coach had a team 19 games over 500? I mean, they were far and away better than anybody in the Eastern Conference. Gets fired? 19 games over 500. Okay, they were 30-11. Even if he would have went on a 10-game losing streak, he still would have been well over 500. When has that ever happened in the entire history of the NBA, that a coach is doing that well and loses his job? But again, they don't care about that. Like Darvin Ham, for example. I'm like, is Darvin Ham a father? Well, that doesn't matter. Oh, so it only matters when it's pertaining to your king. The hypocrisy. See, and when you tell them that, oh man, they will bombard you with insults and name calling. And I mean, it's just ridiculous. And I'm like, bro, if you got to do all of this, clearly this guy is not the greatest player of all time, because look at how emotionally invested you are into him. And then, like you said, they're a reflection of him. See, because he does the same exact thing. But no, after 20 seasons of seeing this, there's nothing you can do, because now you have created this persona that you just got to deal with it. And you know that it bothers you on the inside, because if you have to go to all these links and all of these extremes to try to manipulate people and put out disinformation and misinformation and fabricating, like, bro, that's unnecessary. You know, it's just unnecessary. And it's like, you're that obsessed with wanting to be considered number one. Yet every poll comes out within the last 20 years, Michael Jordan is still winning. So no, there's nothing he can do at this point. I mean, other than just continue doing what he's doing, putting up the hollow stats. And yeah, I lost, but I put up my stats, and I got to get another coach. And yeah, Anthony Davis is a top 75 player, but I need more help. Nah, man. I mean, at this point, you're just damaging your legacy. And to sum it up, I just wanted to mention this real quick. Another reason why he can't do anything to change his reputation. Did y'all know Magic Johnson he didn't even play 1,000 playoff games, and he still has more playoff triple doubles than LeBron, and he's supposed to be considered the triple double guy. LeBron is what, year 21 or whatever. But anywho, when he passed Larry Bird in triple doubles, right? Larry Bird did all that in 12 healthy seasons. It took LeBron 15 seasons to pass Larry Bird in triple doubles. Like, the more I start to research, it's like, no. But he's good entertainment, because, you know, his fans, they will put out propaganda and all this, and people like, you know, ourselves and other guys out there on other platforms will continue to combat these narratives, no matter how emotional his fans get. So now, after 20 years of mediocrity, there's nothing he can do.
Real fast before we get to Rob, we got a couple super chats come in. Justin Messenger for AOH for $4.99 US says, I can't wait to see old man MJ get the loudest ovation at the top 100 players ceremony, like he did in Cleveland for the top 75. What do you have to say about all that?
Yeah. Look forward to that too. You can't help but think that some of Michael Jordan's fan base is now based on just missing athletes acting like real competitors, men acting like men, and not even as much just what he did on the court in terms of winning. It's just so sad to watch these guys now. And Uncommon had a video this week, and one There's one line from it that stood out to me. It's like 21 years of propaganda. 21 years of propaganda was not enough to make LeBron James the GOAT. I mean, full on propaganda all the time. And there's a lot of dumb people out there that propaganda works on. And with all of that, he still isn't considered the GOAT. Not truly. That's pretty crazy.
Absolutely. I got a super chat from the lowly one. Thank you very much for $5 US. LeBron really thinks that in his mind he's Michael Corleone. In reality, he's Fredo.
Fredo.
Or yeah, Fredo. Excuse me. Yeah. If I guess who is it? Is Michael Jordan Michael Corleone then? I don't know.
Yep.
But,
no. That's the perfect analogy. Yeah, because he shows all that fake love. In reality, he wants to usurp Michael Jordan, and he can't.
And then I guess Michael Jordan kills him at the end of the movie. I don't know, but or gets him killed. But anyway, thank you, the lowly one. No, I think that I think LeBron does have this kind of attitude, and at least looking at himself in the mirror, what he sees is that he's this. I don't know. I think he does think he's the GOAT, and I think there's a lot of things missing. I mean, I get why he thinks it because it's him, and you have self-bias and ego and all of that sort of stuff. But yeah, from the outside looking in, I agree. I think that he, in talking about the men being men stuff, I think that's kind of an analogy in respect to that with this analogy. There's another super chat that came in, but thank you from Riku for AOH for €5.99. Kareem's accomplishments are eerily similar to LeBron's. Why has he never been considered the GOAT over LeBron? For me, it's MJ, Kareem, and the rest. What do you have to say about that, AOH?
I think some people considered Kareem the GOAT. It's not pushed as much, but I think some people have considered Kareem to be the GOAT. Let me read this chat. Yeah, what's the worst thing that Kareem did? Leave Milwaukee and go to LA? I don't think
he was technically traded.
Right. It wasn't like the ugliest way to do it. So, yeah. And, Kareem was a big civil rights guy. Kareem was legitimately in that ring. He was in that arena as a civil rights guy. And LeBron's a fake civil rights guy, if you ask me. Boy, I don't know if any of you guys have seen his school. He's got a mural on the wall of himself next to Martin Luther King Jr. And his head is bigger. His picture is bigger than Martin Luther King Jr.'s. And those two do not belong on the same wall together. I mean, that bugs me. Like, this dude, everything he does is built to him.
Self-aggrandizement.
Even the school that is supposedly a good act for the people was just another shrine to himself. And by the way, he made the school system pay. He made that school system pay for that school along with his foundation. You know what a foundation means? Foundation means charitable contributions that come in. He's not. This isn't from Nike. His wallet.
Yep, from Nike.
Seven Samurai also sent you a super chat, AOH, for €6. He says, "Hey, this is too strong of a word. I believe he deserves to be thoroughly disliked, though. As a player, can't say anything about him as a human being. Just wanted to add. That's why I put hate in quotations. But AOH, what do you have to say about that?"
Thank you for the super chat. Well, we end up using the word hate because everyone says that we're hating. We can't criticize him. We can't call out the truth. We wouldn't feel compelled to do this if we weren't seeing all these TV shows straight up lying in order to keep the image of this guy going. Now, that actually does kind of stir up some feelings that are pretty strong. I don't know if it's hate, but it makes me feel pretty upset seeing that many lies being broadcast all the time to support somebody that I think behaves in a really disgusting manner. But again, it's interesting that we, even us, get hated on because, in my opinion, we're trying to do something good. Like, the only reason I ever started my channel was because the lies for LeBron James got so out of control. I was like, am I in reality? Is anyone else seeing this? And they will say that we can't come on and fight for the truth. And then they'll say some stupid shit like, I bet you guys don't even play basketball, which I do. But you don't have any problem with a leprechaun like Nick Wright talking like he's a sports expert. I'd like to see that guy do one athletic thing of any kind.
Well, his frame looks really athletic. His nose also, but no.
Well, yeah, he'd clear me out driving the lane without using his arms.
Yeah. Oh, well, I guess before we get to Robin, another super chat came in from Pierre from me. Thank you very much. Dart in chat, why do all the pundits and media sick fans say after he wins number 5, he will go ahead of Jordan as the GOAT? Because they're, well, for one, thank you, Pierre, for the $5. I appreciate it, sir. It's because they are still trying to push that narrative. You know, people were, you know, when the in-season tournament happened, I heard some people say that he had won his 5th championship there. They're just trying to explore ways and be creative to push the narrative that he's the GOAT. And that's what they do. But and plus it's entertainment for people in respect to the media pundits. They're just trying to sell tickets on their show specifically.
You guys think it's interesting how many Europeans or other international people are fans of our channels, and how that might speak to culture? And, you know, not to be non-patriotic, but we've got some lack of accountability going on big time here in this country. And maybe other people that in other countries that like basketball are like, man, what in the hell happened to basketball over there?
Not only that, but that what you're saying, and I just want to echo, on the global stage, it's still Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. So even in the United States, right? He's still losing the PR battle on the international stage. It's like, bruh, all that work, all that time you're putting into trying to manipulate people, yet you're still losing. Like, it's sad.
And what if we take Michael Jordan out of it? You don't have to like Michael Jordan or have him as the GOAT. What the LeBron fans will do is the exact same thing. They'll just run to anyone else ever and see if anyone else has ever done anything less than perfect in order to try and justify bad behavior. It's bad behavior or it's not bad behavior. Stop trying to justify it with other bad behavior. Uh-oh, I don't hear anything.
Oh, the dart cut off?
Oh, my bad. I muted myself. Sorry. I'm outside with wind and all this. Seven Samurai super chatted you again for €6. Completely agree. My main issue is his lack of accountability. We're talking about a guy that is about to burn through his 10th coach in his career. AOH, if you got something to say.
Thank you.
They keep coming. Okay. Robin. So as was said, I mean, we had a lot of super chat breaks, which is always a good thing. However, what do you to bring it back a little bit? Is there anything that LeBron James can do to redeem his reputation of the quote unquote hate that he receives? And what do you have to say about what everyone else was talking about?
Yo, for real, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. It's been, like I said, man, donate, man. That's been supporting everybody's channels and supporting the live stream. Yo, shout out to all you guys, man, for real. But yeah, you guys have been hitting it on the head, man. You guys said some really good stuff out there. And there's really, because, you know, we could look at this a couple of different ways. Because once again, when we think about LeBron James, the problem for LeBron James, and the reality is that he's like that person that's working at his job too long. You know, you get to a point sometimes when you can retire, that if you continue to work past a certain point, you're actually losing money. So LeBron James actually at that point of his career where he's actually went past his expiration date, so to speak. And now as far as him being like considered the greatest of all time, as far as him catching Michael Jordan, let's say, there's no chance of that. To me, that ship has sailed a long time ago. I think a lot of true basketball fans, if they're whether you think Michael Jordan's the greatest or not, it's irrelevant. He's nowhere near passing Michael Jordan or going to pass Michael Jordan from here on out. That ship has sailed. So that we can forget about right there. His fans need to understand the reality. That's the reality. Now, as far as LeBron James redeeming his reputation of being a quote-unquote man and actually standing for something, carrying yourself with class and integrity, the respect, all of these kinds of things, that to me, I don't know if he'll be able to redeem himself on those things because like you guys said earlier, it's 21 years of this now. My man Hookah said that. These are all these years now. We've given you so many chances. Like I said, just think about the slam dunk contests alone. Something that simple. They were asking this man to do this for years and years and years. LeBron James couldn't do it. And for years and years and years now, we've watched LeBron James flop around on the basketball court, walk off the court early, bounce from team to team, not play any defense, but ask for the most amount of money out there. So he wants max money, but you're not giving the max effort. We see all these things, pointing the finger at your teammates, like you guys mentioned, getting all the coaches fired. I mean, my goodness, where's, once again, the accountability? It all comes back to these similar things. So as far as him redeeming his reputation, I don't think that's ever going to happen. Those bronze medals that he got in the Olympics, those things are going to be there forever. The losses that he has on his record, those things are going to be there. Think about some of the images that's burned in your brain. Think about the iconic moments of LeBron James' career. One of them happened to be that image of him pointing at J.R. Smith all crazily because he made a mistake and ran the clock out. That's one of the iconic moments in LeBron James' career, man. Whether his fans want to admit it or not, it definitely is. Those are the black eyes of his career. You don't really see these kinds of things from Michael Jordan because Michael Jordan was all about what? The grind. LeBron James has ran from the grind. He's avoided these things. You know what I'm saying? He's been trying to navigate through it because he doesn't want to go through the hardships that some of the other all-time greats did. So his reputation, to me personally, what do I talk about on my channel? You guys know me. It's about being worthy of these things. You guys mentioned Kareem Abdul-Jabbar earlier, and some people saying in the comments that, you know, you can have your own GOAT. You know, it's who you like, things of that nature. Yes, that may be true to some degree, but there are only a certain amount of people, a handful of players that are actually qualified to be considered for a conversation to be greatest of all time. But first and foremost, you must respect these players. You must respect their careers and what they earned and did throughout their careers. To me, LeBron James has not earned it the right way, and I do not respect him. Once again, we mentioned the word respect, the same thing that LeBron James is still searching for after 21 seasons. And he still doesn't understand that you have to earn the respect. It's not given to you. So for me, I think LeBron James, as far as him catching Michael Jordan, that'll never happen. As far as LeBron James being the greatest of all time, that'll never happen. As far as, listen, this man has a lot of things that he has an answer for. And when you can't even come to the post-game press conference after a basketball game and say, hey, yeah, you know, we didn't get it done and take it on the chin, when you start talking about the in-season tournament and you guys weren't healthy since the beginning of the season, you start making excuses. You're not going to earn the respect of people out there, man. So for me, LeBron James will never have that, man.
Hey, wait. In sports, I want to add this in, bro. He also does not answer unscripted questions. Anytime somebody hits him with a question he isn't prepared for, he's either going to get up, I'm not going to answer that, or he's going to get up and leave, like he did in 2018 when he allegedly broke his hand, but he was able to pick his purse up and walk out. Anything that's not unscripted, he will not answer that question. That's all.
Hey, wait, Chad, do you think there's anything that LeBron James can do to redeem his reputation, or if you wanted to add anything said?
He could go to jail for the rest of his life and apologize every single day on national television. And even then, I don't think that would redeem it. And he will never have any interest in redeeming. You look at his career, even as he gets worse, he's become more delusional because he gets supported no matter what he does. Like when you live inside of your own ego and everyone surrounding you helps your ego, how are you ever going to escape from your own ego? And I'd like to point out what he does with his spare time right now. You know, the guy is not lacking for attention. The guy is not lacking for money, but he's spending his spare time launching new TV shows, new podcasts. How are you guys talking about him being a great dad and family man when he leaves the basketball court? He still doesn't go home. He's still doing self-promotion and self-love. And this guy is about self-love. He's going to spend the years after basketball using his billions of dollars to build the image that he was better than he was. He's going to be busy promoting the LeBron James lie with all that money. He's not interested in redemption at all.
Well, I wanted to add on what the funny thing is that he's doing it a lot himself in respect to trying to promote the GOAT argument for the LeBron brand. I mean, he made his own podcast. In contrast to Michael Jordan, he doesn't really go out there and say I'm the GOAT or pushing the narratives that he's the GOAT. People do that for him. And I'm not saying people don't do it for LeBron either, but a lot of them are part of his media group as well. So in ways he's directly doing it. And not to say that there aren't pundits of Michael Jordan that may be on his payroll. I'm not familiar with that. I'm just saying I'm not excusing that as a possibility. But I just find it funny that he's doing it himself at this point on the new podcast that he did with the Mind the Game podcast. It's hilarious that you're going so low that you're promoting this yourself. So as a billionaire and, you know, arguably one of the most powerful people in media right now. So it's kind of funny. It's laughable, you know, where you have to say, yeah, everybody listen to me. I am the GOAT. And listen to how smart I am with my buddy JJ, who, you know, has got a good pair of kissers on him that, you know, that go on my butt. So it's just something that I think it's funny. But one thing that what's up?
Well, I would just love to actually see JJ Redick become LeBron's coach, because those two live in such delusional worlds. They probably actually think it would work. And my God, would that fucking blow up?
Please. That's what I'm wishing. Just like the Westbrook trade, I'm praying that happens.
Yep.
Add Draymond to that too.
That is going to be the biggest dumpster fire I've ever seen in the history of NBA.
More fuel to the fire, baby.
That would end the podcast.
No. Even as a coach, JJ will have time for that podcast.
That'll give us more stuff to talk about.
No, I was saying after it blows up, they couldn't be friends after that anymore because, you know.
He'll be yelling,
LeBron would
JJ,
blame
do
him.
the replay. Do the replay.
Yep. And then he'd be going, he'd be sitting down and ignoring JJ. It just wouldn't work. Or, you know, in history at least. But I want to add just to what AOH was saying. One thing that would make me feel a little better, to be kind of serious, is if he did acknowledge the things that he did over the 20 years. I'm not saying it would redeem for it, but to look back on his career and say, yeah, I could have done things different. I could have not had all these excuses or blamed other people. I would look at him in a better light. I don't know if it would redeem it, but I think he, in respect to his reputation of what he's done, I do think it's deserving. And I think if he acknowledged that he did do that, I would appreciate that more than him not doing it.
But it's not a true acknowledgement, because he's, after years and years of scrutiny over his decision, he did say at some point, he said, well, I could have handled that better. I don't.
It's not just a decision.
Clearly, you could have handled it better. You couldn't have handled it much worse. What are we giving this guy credit for exactly?
Yeah, and I mean not just with the decision. I mean in totality, not just, I could have done this one thing better.
But do you think any of those things will come just straight as a, sorry about that? Or do you think it'll come the way that he did the Miami Heat thing? Is like, I didn't play great in Miami, but it was actually someone else's fault. I mean, do you think he'll just straight up acknowledge, or do you think it'll be attached to another narrative?
Oh, no. Do I think it'll happen? No. I'm saying I think that would do it for me. But in respect to what you're saying, yeah, he would definitely not hit it head on and take full accountability for it. Yeah, absolutely. He wouldn't. He would attach it to something else and try to make himself look better in the process if he were to do it. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Seven Samurai has sent AOH another super chat of €11. Just a thought: do you think that the media league, etc., keep LeBron James on a pedestal because if he's not there, they'd have to admit a European player that is less marketable will be the face of the NBA? That's a good one. What do you have to say about that, AOH?
Yeah, thanks, Seven Samurai. Where are you, by the way? Where are you writing from? My question is why would a European not be marketable? You know, is it a United States insecurity that we can't give props to a European player because they are marketable? Most of them speak better English than the Americans. So, I mean, that's not always true. You know, I actually gave Anthony Edwards a compliment a week or two ago because he was just rolling during the press conference. He sounded like a articulate person, and he actually looked at the crowd instead of hanging his head and mumbling and having a hoodie over the top of him. But you know, it's not like there aren't other Americans that they could try to be market. They just aren't. They aren't trying to market anybody. Jokic couldn't be the face because Jokic isn't interested. Clearly, I mean, Jokic is likable, but you're like, okay, get off the stage. We don't even want. Just go ahead, get out of here. Yeah, I don't know which European player though. Who's the most charismatic? Because when you're talking about the face of the league, it's not just whether or not they're a good player. Are they charismatic? Luka's kind of charismatic, but he's got some of that whiny shit going on too.
Yep, absolutely. So I saw a chat following this. I got a super chat. This is addressed to Robin. For the people that don't know, if you want to pseudo super chat Robin, he has a what is it, a PayPal attached to your website?
Yeah, PayPal.
So please send him a PayPal if you're interested in giving him a donation or a pseudo super chat. But I was given the super chat from Compare Health, Life, and Dental Insurance Solutions for $10, but it's for Robin. He said, Robin, or Sports and Fitness Rants, great pump-up videos. It gets me juice in the mornings. Just at 100 burpees. Feels good to get a pump on a Sunday morning.
Yo, once again, man, thank you to my people over there, Compare Health, Life, and Dental. They always come through. They support the live streams. They supported my channel. Thank you very much. Yes, the burpees are my go-to exercise. I told you, man, I never go anywhere without my jump rope, and burpees are one of my favorite go-to exercises. If I'm short on time, your best bang for your buck, man, you get yourself a jump rope, man, you do some burpees, man. Once again, I never leave home without, like the American Express card, man. Never leave home without my jump rope, man. So once again, shout out to them, man. Burpees always get it done, man. Get that heart rate going.
I wanted to say that I need to start doing them again. I got to be able to do 100 burpees in less than 10 minutes, which I guess is that mark. And I love burpees, but I've been
in the Navy. We
lazy.
called them the 8-count bodybuilders. That's what we called them back in the Navy when I was in boot camp and things like that. Man, they were called the 8-count bodybuilders. Man, shout out to all my veterans out there, all the military people. 8-count bodybuilders.
Yeah, I got to get back on that too, man. I've been slacking the burpees. Yeah,
but yeah.
Fight against the laziness.
Yep.
I got to stop moving first. I'm moving today again.
There you go. You're still moving then.
Yeah,
hey,
I'm moving in a different way.
I got to roll. If I can sign
All right.
out.
All right. Yeah. Do your thing, man.
Thanks for having me on. Thanks everyone for the comments and the super chats. Thanks Sports and Fitness for coming on impromptu on Friday. Join him and me on Wednesday in a members live stream. And hey, I destroyed LeBron's excuses in this morning's video. If you haven't seen today's video, shameless plug to my own channel. Go and watch this morning's video about his excuses about the no talent roster and the in-season tournament.
What time on Wednesdays?
It's 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. I don't know why it's not showing up on my channel. Okay. I got to go and figure that out.
I should be free this coming Wednesday. I definitely like to engage on that one.
Cool. I got your email now. I'll hit you up.
Indeed, that'll work. Take it easy, bro.
All right, yo, be good, LOH.
Happy Sunday.
Yep. Have a great day.
Thanks, Dart. Appreciate it.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. But yeah, Robin, Hoop God, y'all have anything you want to continue to talk about? I'm outside and my battery, I still have some juice in it. Or do you want to do callers for a little bit, or what do y'all want to do?
Yeah, so there was another thing that I did want to chime on while we were having this discussion. So I'm noticing that, okay, you guys had mentioned like about the top 10. Now, I know a lot of people don't have Curry up there, which I don't have a problem with that. I have him up there because for the simple reason he was able to deliver the same amount of championships to his franchise in less time, did not have to team hop, and had less help. Now, I say that to say this. For all of the LeBron fans who want to have LeBron firmly second to Jordan or over Jordan, which is beyond the realm of insanity. But I'm looking at it like, well, are you just going to ignore Steph Curry? The first thing they'll say, well, he had Kevin Durant. I'm like, you realize he won a championship before KD got there. Well, LeBron, Kyrie and Kevin Love was injured. I'm like, but LeBron went up 2-1 on them. I'm like, this is just for me, and I want to know y'all's perspective. If you're up on a neophyte team that has no championship experience whatsoever, you deliver 0 points in the fourth quarter of game 4 when you got the opportunity to smother them and go up 3-1. Look at it like this. You go up 3-1, you're allowed to have a bad game because you have a deficit on them where they have to win. Okay. They have no margin of error. You can't go up 3-1 on a neophyte team and win this championship. I would say that to say this. I would honestly be like, okay, for him to pull that off without Kyrie, Kevin Love, yeah, I could put him behind Jordan because I don't think anybody else has done anything like that. But then you turn around, you have Kyrie and Kevin Love, and you have to come back from a 3-1 deficit. Nah, I'm sorry. That's not moving me. And I'm looking at it like y'all upset at Steph Curry, but y'all not upset at LeBron James for recruiting Kevin Durant. They both wanted him. He chose Golden State. But then Steph Curry comes back and delivers a championship without a Kevin Durant. No top 75 teammates. So I'm like, so you want to say LeBron is on par with Jordan, but Curry is not even in your top 10? Like, what's y'all's take on that when they try to differentiate why Curry can't be up there, but LeBron can?
Robin, you want to go first?
Well, I mean, for me with the Steph Curry stuff, like I don't have Steph Curry in my top 10. I don't think I could put Steph Curry in my top 10. That's why I was giving Dart some stuff earlier. I was messing with him about having Steph Curry. I think you had him at number 8. You had him number 8, right, Dart, or something like that? So, but for me,
it's fluid. No,
it's fluid. No, I mean, listen, because this is the thing. When we talk about holding these guys to the same standards and things like that, and we talk about this era of NBA, you know, we've talked about how this era of NBA is not like the previous eras and the softness of the era and how a lot of these guys, they don't have the same heart and the grit and all these things, man. The game has changed. It's more of a perimeter-oriented game. Steph Curry plays in this era too, so he's got to take some flack for that. Also, when we talk about the Kevin Durant moves and the moves that some of these guys have made, Steph Curry's never moved his team, but he allowed Kevin Durant to come to his team. So as bad as that move was by Kevin Durant, and to me, like I told you, I don't even really respect Kevin Durant's 2 championships much. Steph Curry allowed Kevin Durant to come to his team when he could have, you know, stopped that from happening or said, hey, man, we don't need Kevin Durant here. But if you have Steph Curry in your top 10, I don't know. Because for me, when I think about Steph Curry, man, and we think about the comparisons for LeBron James, this is where LeBron James kind of gets exposed in his era. Because I've often told people you can consider it the Steph Curry era and the LeBron James era, not just the LeBron James era, but you can consider the Steph Curry era because, like you said, who got Steph Curry has managed to win just as much in LeBron James era, and he was able to do it under much different conditions where Steph Curry was the main guy. You talk about 2015, you talk about 2022. So, you know, with those things that we think about, it's hard, man, for LeBron James to have that argument against a Michael Jordan when he has pushback against other players from his own era. And the way that he went about his business, it wasn't as organic as a Steph Curry, other, like I said, other than that Kevin Durant thing. For me, I would put Steph Curry probably somewhere in the top 20, top 15, somewhere in that range for me. That's what Steph Curry would be.
Yeah, no, I can see that. What's your take, Dart?
Yeah, so I've talked about this before. When people say that LeBron James was so dominant during the 2000s and 2010s, he was sandwiched in and part of the Kobe era, if you want to categorize it like that, and then also the Steph Curry era. So to say that he was just so absolutely dominant is, as JJ Redick would say, a misnomer. No, it just doesn't make any sense. It's not. Throughout his career, he always had somebody that was equatable with his greatness or greater, in my opinion, for both Steph Curry and Kobe Bryant, at least reputation wise, at the very least. And for me, why I had Steph Curry up there was just his influence on the game with the 3-point shots and all of that sort of stuff. I don't necessarily think he's one of the best. I do think he's one of the best, but in respect to being a top 10 best player of all time, I wouldn't put him there. But I categorize greatness different than the best. But yeah,
I think that's a good point, dog. When you think about what Hoop God was saying as it relates to a LeBron James, the eye test, Steph Curry, to me, the visual of watching Steph Curry play basketball is more beautiful. You'd rather watch Steph. I mean, at least that's what I think, that to watch Steph Curry play the game of basketball is a lot more interesting than to watch LeBron James run up and down the court the way he does. So that goes to what Hoop God is saying as far as like when people try to put LeBron James, right there with Michael Jordan. Wait a second, man. He's not even really as iconic as a Steph Curry. You can argue these things, man.
Agreed.
Absolutely. Robin, did you want to talk about something, or do you guys want to do a couple calls? Or
yeah, if somebody was wanting to call in, I'm down for a couple calls. Absolutely.
All right. For everybody that doesn't know, it's easier if you come to my page and just click the link, because the link will drop onto my page. If you liked what I had to say, please come and subscribe to my channel. Otherwise, just please click the link. Otherwise, you're only going to see it on the overlay on the screen that you're watching, and you're not going to be able to click it. So if you want to call in, please just come to my page real fast. And just on a sidebar, if you've appreciated what any of us had to say, go and subscribe to our channels at large. But I'm gonna drop the link right now. So if you want to go and you want to call in, the link is dropped on my page. Michael Jordan fans are the best. I believe.
See, man,
see me. What's up?
Yo, see, this is what I'm talking about. This is why we're here, man. This is why we must continue to set the record straight. Someone in the chat said something about Michael Jordan never donating money or doing any charity work. See, this is what I'm talking about. Now, either these people are disingenuous, they're being trolls, but some of these people really drink the Kool-Aid and they believe that Michael Jordan's never done anything. Michael Jordan has done many things for charity.
Yeah, he donated his entire 2001 salary to the 9/11.
Yeah, victims of 9/11.
Yeah, that's a simple Google search. That's why I'm like, man, them dudes just
people are crazy, man.
Welcome, Pierre. How are you today?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Yo,
Great.
what up?
Hey Robin, what's up?
All right.
What's up, Hoop God?
Cool.
Oh my God, it's starting to rain out here. But yeah, Pierre, do you have a question for the panel or a comment? We have E-Man in the back. I'm just gonna let him on after you ask a question or whatnot.
No, it's just that I'm just sick of these narratives, sick of these lies every day, and it just got to the point where it's just so annoying now. Everything this idiot does, and he just makes himself look bad all the time. And his sycophants just stick up for every little stupid thing he does, and that's really getting on my nerves too. You know what I mean, Hoop God?
Yes, sir.
And, I don't even ask Robin; he knows the deal.
Yeah, word.
You know what I mean? So it's just that it just gets like so annoying, and just dumb stuff, And but I got to ask you guys a question. This is mainly for you three. talking
Okay.
about Kobe now, right? Just to bring up this point. I was arguing with this guy on Kiora about who's better. You know, is Kobe better than Oscar Robertson or Jerry West? You know, so I wanted to get you guys' opinion on that, just to get an idea of what you guys think. You know, and then we'll just talk about overall talent because they were saying, oh, there's no way Kobe's better overall talent than Oscar.
Okay, so
So
the question is do we think that Kobe's better than Oscar?
and Jerry West. That's what these guys were telling me, you know, yelling at me about.
Okay, and you're saying that they were better.
No,
That
because I
Kobe
was
was
saying
better.
no. I'm saying this. I apologize. I'm wording it wrong. I'm saying this. They were saying to me that Jerry West and Oscar Robertson were better than Kobe as an overall basketball player. So I was asking, what do you guys think of that? And you know, that was basically how I should have worded the question from the beginning.
Okay, Hoop Guy, what do you got to say?
See, I generally dislike when people do that because they don't factor in that Jerry West and Oscar Robertson, they were only as good as the predecessors that came before them. And when I go back and watch film, the things they were allowed to do versus, you know, what wouldn't be allowed back then, I don't like it. But if I just had to if I put it down and just went year by year, and then I put all the factors in there, the reason I'm giving Kobe the edge is because out of all the top 75 guys, right, that number 24 version, he showed me that he was truly a part of those all-time greats. Because what was the verdict out on Kobe? You can't win without Shaq. You can't do this without Shaq. Blah, 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 right? We look at Oscar and Jerry West. Well, they say, well, Oscar couldn't win until he got with Kareem, and Jerry West couldn't win until he got with Wilt and Gail Goodrich, somebody that's underrated. So I'm looking at all that, and then I tally it up. Okay, I'm like, so within Kobe, I would say his mental peak from 07 to that 2010 range, I don't see anybody else other than possibly I definitely Michael Jordan and maybe Magic Johnson and Bird able to do what Kobe did in that span. But I'm saying that respectfully to Jerry West and Oscar Robertson, because they are not generally dislike when people don't give them their credit. But I'm taking that 24 version of Kobe over the both of those guys in a respectful manner, though.
Robin, what do you got to say?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I have a lot of respect for Jerry West, man. Jerry West is in my top 10 players of all time. So is Kobe Bryant. Oscar Robertson, for me, I would probably have somewhere in that top 15, you know what I'm saying, that top 20 range. I don't know if Oscar Robertson is underrated, you know, to some of us. I would, you know, consider myself a newer generation. I didn't grow up watching Oscar Robertson. But for me, when I think about Jerry West or what I've seen on Jerry West, I have Jerry West as the third greatest shooting guard of all time behind Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. Then I would have Jerry West right there. Now, for me, the thing that separates a Jerry West and an Oscar Robertson, if I had to break those guys down, is I would give the edge to Jerry West on the defensive end. He was known for being a two-way player, Jerry West. Not saying that Oscar Robertson couldn't play defense or didn't play defense, but he wasn't known for his defensive ability like a Jerry West was. So if I think about that, also Jerry West's clutch ability, right? He's known for being Mr. Clutch. I'm going to go with Jerry West. Now, we think about Jerry West versus Kobe Bryant. To me, once again, yes, it's a debate, you know, even with an Oscar Robertson, but I'm going to go with Kobe Bryant because I think that when you talk about Kobe Bryant's competitiveness, and Jerry West was a true competitor, when you combine that with his athleticism versus Jerry West and his overall game, to me, I'm going to give the edge to a Kobe Bryant, man. But once again, like I said, I have respect for all those guys. And like I said, Jerry West is in my top 10, but I would go with Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, for me, I would pick Kobe Bryant above them, but I can see, and that's just personally. But outside of that, I think that on a sidebar, I think that Jerry West and Oscar Robertson are often largely disrespected in the totality of the history of the game. People will just excuse how great they were in their time and say that, oh, you know what, Kobe's just better, and they start disrespecting them. Now, I think Kobe was better, but the point of it is that I do think they deserve their respect. Um, but yeah, Pierre. Oh, I guess Pierre left. Or no, did I knock him out? I'm
Still
trying
here.
to. Okay,
I'm
yeah.
still here.
I was gonna let E-Man on. Do you have any last words for us, or?
I just wanted to tell you guys, I'm so happy to hear what you guys had to say to my question, because that's exactly was my feelings on everything, and then that's exactly what I told those two idiots that were telling me that that Jerry West and Oscar Robertson were better than Kobe. Now I totally respect both of them because I've seen them play. I didn't go to their games. I went to a lot of old players' games, of course, but I didn't actually go to Jerry West's games or Oscar Robinson's game. But of course, I did see them play, on TV because I'm old enough. But I'm so glad that you guys gave me your perspective. That's what I wanted to hear, if you guys are backing up my frame of thinking. And of course, Dart, we're all on the same page as always.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for calling, Pierre. I'm going to let E-Man on, and thanks for
Okay,
the super
brother.
chats. We'll see you in the future.
Yo, be good, man.
Take it easy, bro.
All right. Welcome, E-Man. How are you today?
Yo, what's good? I'm
What
doing
up,
good,
man?
man. I had
Do
a
you
question
have-
about.
Mhm.
Oh, what you saying?
No, I was going to say, do you have a question for the panel or a comment?
Yeah. I got a question about this year's championship and the finals matchup. So, out of the East, who do y'all think is going to come out of the East? Who do y'all think is going to come out of the West? And who y'all got winning the whole thing?
Hoop guy, do you want to start?
Yeah, I'm gonna stay 10 toes on Denver until somebody takes them out. But the East, y'all call me crazy, but I really, that Boston, New York, I believe I honestly believe the Knicks can take them down in the 7-game series. That's my dark horse. I'll put it that way.
All right, Robin, what do you got to say?
Yo, that's a great question, man. Thanks for coming on and asking that, man, for real. And I'll start off on the Western Conference. For me, listen, I picked in the preseason, I picked the Denver Nuggets to repeat as champions. But if I had to just be like, what would I like to see? I would love to see the Minnesota Timberwolves or maybe the Oklahoma City Thunder make it to the NBA Finals. I think that would be really cool, especially for Minnesota Timberwolves. They've never been to the NBA Finals, so that would be really cool to see a team like them make to the NBA Finals. So I wouldn't mind seeing that. On the Eastern side, man, I'm a New Yorker, man. You know what I'm saying? So I might have to say the New York Knicks, man. I want to see the New York Knicks, man, in the NBA Finals. Like Hoop God said, man, it'll be tough. The Boston Celtics are playing really good basketball right now. They should be the team to go to the NBA Finals. They should go. But I would love to see the Knicks, man. It'll be interesting, though.
For me, I want to see the Nuggets go back because I like Jokic. I'd like to see a new dynasty emerge. But I also would like to see the Timberwolves pull this out. And I've been saying throughout the year, having their quote unquote 2 big men lineup, I wouldn't quite categorize it as that. But generally speaking, I like seeing that. And they have a win over the Nuggets right now. So, maybe they'll do that. And that was in Denver's home court. So maybe they'll be able to pull it off. That remains to be seen. But as of right now, you know what? I'm gonna pick the Wolves. I'm gonna say that they're gonna be able to get over the hump of the Nuggets, and it's Boston. Can y'all hear me? Okay, yeah. So I just had an error. But yeah, and then so I would say Boston versus the Timberwolves, and let's get the Timberwolves. That's what I'm gonna say. E-Man, what do you have? Do you have any last words for us before we get to the next caller or comment or anything?
Yeah, I just want to give my predictions on the finals matchup. So in the East, I got the Celtics because I just think they're the best team. Even without Kristaps, I mean, they've made the finals without him, so I feel like they'll be able to adjust and play without him. On the West, I'm not gonna lie. I think if any team's gonna beat the Celtics or the Nuggets, it's gonna be the Timberwolves. So I got them in the finals, and then I got the Celtics win it all.
Nice.
All right.
I like it.
Awesome. Well, thank you for calling in, man. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you too.
Yo, thanks.
Hey, take it easy, bro.
All right. We've got James with the Joker. How are you today, sir?
Gentlemen. It's good to be calling in. I'm having a pretty good day so far. I only just got in here about 20 minutes ago, but I wanted to call in. I got a couple things that I got, like something I want to ask and then something I want to say, if that's all right.
Yeah.
Sure.
So the thing I want to say is I got into it with a super fan. You know, I work in houses. I'm an electrician, so I'm always in somebody's house. Somebody's always talking to me about basketball. And my man started talking to me about the GOAT debate. You know, I don't bring it up because it's toxic, but he starts talking to me about LeBron being the best. And I'm like, bro, if you run into the defender, like straight through their chest every time you go to the basket, that's a foul. You understand that, right? Now, he's actually arguing this point with me. So I said to him, go down to the local schoolyard and do what he does and see what happens. You're going to fight somebody, bro. Like, you're going to fight. You can't just run through people's chests and that makes you a fantastic basketball player, because anybody can do that if they have size. It's crazy what these guys think. And they're brainwashed, like Sports and Fitness Rants always says. My question is, do y'all have a moderator? Because there's these dudes in here that are just, I'm pretty sure they're the same cats. Every time we're doing this, they're just making different names. Like my man's in here talking about Jordan owned prisons. Bro, if Jordan owned prisons, we'd see Jumpmen on the side of them. Like facts. Right? Like we would know that he owned them. It's not the same guy. He's in here talking about he don't donate salaries and shit, man. What are we talking about this for? Does this have shit to do with basketball? You know what I mean?
Oh, James,
I'm just saying.
That's their tact, though. They have to go off basketball because they know on the court he does not measure up in any aspect.
None, dude. And it's so crazy, man. Like watching, like I love y'all. I like, and I donate when I can because this is, we're all passionate about this sport here. He's killing it, man. He's killing it.
Word.
The league's helping him. Obviously, you know, they're complicit in it, but the league isn't basketball, which is what I always say. It's an offensive-minded variant of basketball, but he's killing everything we love about the game, boys. You're necessary. Y'all are necessary, man.
Appreciate it, James. I appreciate you calling. I'm going to defend my moderator aspect. I've got one moderator who's Pierre. I'd like the trolls because I think they're funny, but in respect to that, I get your point. But yeah, thanks for calling in, man. I'm about to let Zen Master in, but I appreciate you calling in. Thank you very much.
Yo, thanks a lot, man. Appreciate
Keep
you.
it up,
Thank
boys.
you for the support.
Love the videos.
Take it easy,
Thank you,
bro.
man. Thank you.
All right, we've got Zen Master in here. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing well, guys. I love your show. Just wanted to chime in and tell you that as well as make a comment.
Yo, much respect to you, man. I've seen your channel, man. Much respect to you, man. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I just wanted to say, man, first of all, I was born like between LeBron and Mike. I was 12 years old when Mike came into the league. So I just want to give everybody the proper frame of reference. LeBron has no dynasty, number one. Every other great in league history, with the exception of, say, Isaiah, and even Isaiah could probably claim it. No, they all have dynasties. LeBron has never raised a team from zero to a winner, not once. No one has ever targeted a retired player like this. No one ever came in the league gunning for a retired player and declaring himself the greatest of all time. No one's ever done that. LeBron can't sell sneakers. Can anybody name those classic bronze that everybody's been rocking?
Hey, not to digress, I saw some at Ross a couple days ago, and I got the picture proof.
You're talking about the whatchamacallits.
Watch him. Don't know about. You couldn't recognize LeBron sneakers in public. You couldn't recognize them. This man has run from the grind at every turn and wants to compare himself to someone who took the 27 and 55 Chicago Bulls, the cocained up Chicago Bulls, from zero to hero. They have yet to get back to that status. The NBA has yet to recover from his TV ratings. 21 years, and you haven't even come close to his TV ratings. LeBron is nowhere near the GOAT. Kobe's way closer to the GOAT than LeBron is, not to mention the 6 finals losses. That being said, Minnesota versus Boston. Jason Tatum gets his first finals MVP. Celtics in 7. It's going to be an outstanding series.
Absolutely. Well said.
Yeah.
Did you have a question, or you just wanted to have that comment?
Just, your thoughts and feelings on LeBron declaring himself the GOAT. I think that's the single most offensive thing he's ever done, personally. Declaring yourself the GOAT. And targeting a retired guy is pretty low as well.
Yeah, I'll start off. I think him calling himself the GOAT on TV specifically, because some people, I'm sure people are pretty much everyone in the world is self-adulated at some point and said, yeah, I did really good, or I think I'm great, or whatever. But saying it on a camera, in a microphone on essentially to the world, yeah, I think it was trash, because I believe you just start disrespecting people, especially when you're playing and you're not even done your career. I think in total it was a low class move. And then targeting Michael. I know that it's not specifically him targeting, but it's the media targeting Michael for him, essentially. I think
I disagree with that, because he said from the beginning he was chasing that ghost in Chicago.
No, he did say that. I'm saying in general for like the everyday sort of stuff.
Yeah, but he's got his media machine out there, bro, and we can't ignore the fact that Clutch.
That's what I'm saying.
Half of these guys, or represents half of these guys.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, is that it's his, it's not him directly doing it. He did say that he was chasing ghosts once, but yeah, I think it's him just trying to get to the top in a short matter without taking everyone else out in between. But yeah, Hoop God, what do you got to say about it?
Yeah, I mean, he's exactly right. I wanted to mention, because I didn't want to cut you off, I think Isaiah Thomas had a mini dynasty. Like not of course like the Bulls, not the Lakers or Celtics or Spurs, but what he did in that time frame, to me, is considerably better than anything LeBron James ever did in Cleveland. I mean, you had 11 seasons, you brought them 1 championship. You went over there and helped Dwayne Wade's franchise more than you did your own. I mean, that right there just completely removes you from that discussion. But no, if we go look at how many top 75 teammates does this guy play with? 6. And you got 6 finals losses. You've played, now you're about to bring your 10th coach on board. You went to 10 finals, you still got 6 finals losses.
Over 100 all-star teammates.
No, but then they tell us he has the highest IQ. You led both teams in turnovers 7 times in the finals. I'm like my man Sports and Fitness Rant said, the media and the fans tell us one thing, but his production on the court tells us something diametrically opposite. But then if we present the truth, we got to get labeled haters. But in all essence, it's a defense mechanism, because you cannot bury the truth no matter how much you lie, no matter how much you connive. The truth will always come to the top. So,
Agreed.
No, I cannot put him in there for that simple reason. Michael Jordan set the bar too high. Kobe Bryant was the second closest. Then you're getting dominated by your competition. You have a losing record against Tim Duncan. You have a losing record against Stephen Curry. You never beat Dwight Howard. And Nikola Jokic has sent you home consecutive seasons in the playoffs. Mind you, the Lakers have 2 top 75 players. Jokic has 0 all-stars.
0. If I could, LeBron James' playoff record against the Western Conference is 41-50.
So he's under 500 against the Western Conference.
He's underwater. Michael Jordan's 24-11. Enough said. Enough said.
Robin, what do you want to answer Zen Master's question about the GOAT and targeting Michael Jordan?
Well, yeah, I just chime in and just add on to what you guys have been, like you said, laying the facts out right now. But I just add in similar to what you guys were saying about the sneakers, man. You know, when you think about Michael Jordan sneakers and we talk about, you know, the icon that is the Air Jordans, why are they iconic? It's not just because of Michael Jordan. It's about the on-court game. We thought we could fly with the Air Jordans. That's how they promoted the Air Jordans. As it's got to be the shoes. Remember Mars Blackman, the commercials from early in Michael Jordan's career. The promotion was you could fly in these shoes. You could do what Michael Jordan did on the court. When you think about LeBron James' game, like you alluded to, you don't want to put those shoes on because there's nothing that he does on the court that really would make you believe that what he's doing is sensational. It's something great. I want to put the LeBrons on and go out there and barrel my chest into players. No. So that's the difference right there. When we think about Michael Jordan and people being referred to as the Michael Jordan of, why are they referred to as that? Because Michael Jordan represented excellence and greatness, the hard work, the determination, the competitive fire. LeBron James represents none of those things. He's taking the shortcuts. He's taking the easy way out, so to speak, right? He's paid for these things. So that's part of the problem for LeBron James when you talk about him calling himself the GOAT. Michael Jordan, the other great players, they didn't do these things. You talked about the age you were when Michael Jordan came out, so you're considered an old head. We're considered old heads. All the people now are old heads now. Why? Because we stand on the principles that we watch these guys carry themselves with. They were true professionals. They carried themselves with the honor, the class, the integrity, and they played with a love of the game, man. That's what LeBron James doesn't seem to understand. He can call himself the greatest all he wants, but all that does is highlight and expose him as being a fraud.
One last fact before I leave y'all. Michael Jordan played 12 seasons over 79 games. LeBron has played.
Hey, bro, drop your emails.
Right. He showed up to work, man. He was there for the fans.
Right. So we don't need you for 22 seasons. We needed you for 6 chips. Thank you very much. Have a nice life, sir.
All right. Well, thank you for calling in, Zen Master.
We're fellas.
Indeed.
Yo, thanks for calling in, man. For real. Much respect to your channel, man. Thank you.
One.
We're gonna have our last caller, Timeless, call in, and then we'll shut it down after that. But Armando Ruiz, the greatest bald real estate agent of Chicago, has sent me a super chat for $199 US. He says LBJ was swept twice in the finals. Let that sink in. Yeah, it's you know, it's never a good look to be swept ever, but especially in the finals.
Yo, shout out to Armando. What's up, man? Shout out.
All right, and we got I'm trying to like get Timeless in on here. I guess I'm having some technical difficulties. Oh, there it is. Okay. Hey, Timeless, how you doing?
Oh, what's going on, brothers? How y'all doing?
Right, what up, man?
Oh, cool,
great,
man. Hey, one thing I want to say about LeBron is one thing I didn't like is after the 2018 finals, he said that he had a broken wrist. Like, why didn't you say that while the series was going on? Why did you wait the game 4 to say you were playing with a broken wrist? And then after the fact, he was seen jumping off a cliff.
Yeah.
I mean, if you jump off a cliff in the water and your wrist is broke, wouldn't it do more damage to your wrist?
Yeah.
Word.
Everybody know he was lying about that, man. Like, he said he had a broken wrist, but in game 3, a broken hand, but he threw himself a step alley-oop. And then when he was walking off the court, now mind you, he thought he was slick. He slapped hands with everybody with his left hand. But you know, when you lying, you're gonna forget to keep the lie up. So they saw him slapping hands with the right hand with his sons, but you got a broken hand. Man, please.
Nah, you run the money, man. You run the money. That's what it's always been about. Just like last season when they told us that LeBron James been playing an injured foot, he has to get surgery. Still hasn't gotten the surgery for the injured foot. So you're running the money when you talk about the fake phantom injuries.
I think it's
right. I want to say I'm not a LeBron hater. I just like to state the facts when it's right in my face.
Right.
I think it kind of reminds me of Robin Hood Men in Tights, where the mole is always moving on his face.
Oh, I love that movie.
All the injuries he's got. But did you have anything else to say, Timeless? Otherwise, we're gonna shut this down.
Oh yeah. I got a question. You said that you got the Timberwolves winning this series, and I'm fine with that because I like the Timberwolves as well. But I have the Nuggets winning in 7. But if they lose, will it be solely because of Anthony Edwards, or would it be because the fact that they have more length than the Nuggets and they have and their tall guys can shoot threes?
I think they just got, I don't want to say this right now because I think both teams are great, but in respect to why the Timberwolves would win, I just believe they've got a great team going on. And Edwards, Gobert defensively, Cat offensively, amongst the rest of their team, they're just, it's just they're doing amazing. So to say that it's one thing, I wouldn't say that. I think they just got a good thing going on.
Yeah, they do have a hot hand too. I'm about to get out of here, man. I appreciate you for bringing me up. And Michael Jordan fans are the best.
Yo, much respect.
Thank you. Absolutely.
And by the way, one more thing, y'all follow me on TikTok. Time is Youth.
Time is Youth. Right. Word.
All right, go check it out if you guys do the TikToks. All right. I just got another super chat real fast from Patrick Tahawa. I believe I may have mispronounced that. But thank you very much for the super chat. Do y'all have any last words before we shut this down?
LeBron says excuses are weaker than his finals record. We are going to build on the facts and the truth and destroy the lies.
Nice. Robin?
Yeah, once again, guys, it was a great time. Like I said, guys, I always enjoy these live streams. Shout out to once again to everybody in the chat. Thank you, everyone who's donated, everyone that supports our channel, supports the live streams. Like I said, we must continue to set the record straight. Stop the lies, stop the narratives. You guys know the deal, man. Thank you, guys.
I want to thank the live chat, all the panel members, Hoop God, Robin Sports and Fitness Rants, and then Angry Old Hoops that was on here earlier. Please, if you liked what any of us had to say and you're not subscribed to us, go subscribe to us. I love interacting with you guys. And just to speak for them, I believe everyone else does that have been on the panel. And we'll see you on the also I'm thinking about catching up with this now. And for the summer after the playoffs end, if you're interested and like to be part of it and to win a Michael Jordan Fans Are the Best debate champion t-shirt, please contact me and then we'll start organizing it. But yeah, thank you all for joining us, and Michael Jordan fans are the